Dead center. In the exact center. I really like my new apartment. It's dead center in the entertainment district, so I can go out without having to drive. The real thing. The authentic item, something genuine, as opposed to other false examples. I know I said I was in love before, but it's the real thing this time. On the DL. On the down low, quietly, surreptitiously. My friend told me on the DL that we should buy the stock tomorrow. Older people say on the Q.T with the same meaning. Close, but no cigar. You are very close but not quite correct. Is the answer 49? Close, but no cigar. With bated breath. Awaiting something, with great excitement, with held breath. We're awaiting the appointment of the new supervisor with bated breath. Come, down to the wire. Be uncertain, all the way to the last minute. This project is coming down to the wire. I think we can finish, but I'm not sure. This comes from racing, in which a winning racer, horse or human, breaks a small wire at the end. Get the short end of the stick. Emerge with a disadvantage in a deal or negotiation, get a bad deal. My older brother left me with the short end of the stick. He said I could use his car if I lent him money, but it's not running. Not a spring chicken. No longer young. She's no spring chicken, but she's still very good looking. This is used in the negative, generally about women. Under the table. A payment, without being officially recorded. Legally I'm not supposed to work in this country, but the boss pays me under the table. The sky's the limit. The person under discussion can accomplish anything. There's so much demand for real estate in that part of the city right now that if we invest there, the sky's the limit. Fall, head over heels. To become infatuated, to fall suddenly in love. After just a few dates, Jennifer fell head over heels for Bill. Now she won't talk about anything else. Off to the races. We're ready to begin something exciting. The new product is ready, the sales force is trained, and the advertising orders have been placed. We're off to the races. The shit hits the fan. When serious problems that have been expected finally occur. This company is in deep trouble. I'm going to quit before the shit hits the fan. This is obscene, but quite common. This has Person X written all over it. Person X would really like or be well suited to this. A big German document just came in email. This job has Frank written all over it. He speaks fluent German. A gleam in one's eye. 1. An expression of suppressed amusement, an expression showing that one is keeping a secret. 2. A future event, especially the birth of a child, that one has not yet even considered. 1. You always have a gleam in your eye when I talk about Jenna and Bob. Do you know something I don't know? 2. When that song was recorded, you weren't even a gleam in your mother's eye. 86. V. 1. Discard, eliminate. 2. Throw someone out of a bar or store. 1. Our boss approved raises for next year, but the district manager 86 them. 2. That guy has had too much to drink, and he's causing trouble. 86 him. Cool. 1. Impressive, pleasingly surprising. 2. Innovative, fashionable. 3. Acceptable, not in conflict. In expressions like that's cool, I'm cool with that. 1. Try the new roller coaster. There is a part where it's totally dark, it's really cool. 2. 4 cool sunglasses, the neighborhood to visit in Atlanta is little 5 points. 3. So you'll pay me for the broken window? Okay, we're cool. Check it out. 1. Investigate something. 2. Look at this. Check it out. I just bought this new shirt. Take someone to the cleaners. 1. Swindle. 2. Defeat badly. 1. Be careful when visiting foreign cities. You won't be aware of the con artist's tricks, and they'll take you to the cleaners. 2. It was predicted to be a close game, but we took the other team to the cleaners. Stag/stagette. A bachelor party/bachelorette party. I'm getting married in June, and my stag is this weekend. Want to come? Outside Canada, stag party is more common. One of those days. A bad day. I'm sorry I was cranky earlier. It was just one of those days at work. Elevator pitch. A brief presentation of an idea, one short enough to be delivered in an elevator. I can listen to your plan, but I have a meeting in 5 minutes. Can you give me the elevator pitch? Wheels. A car. To get wheels is to acquire a car. Riding the bus is the worst. I have to go home at 10 p.m. or be stuck. I need to get some wheels. 2-4. A case of 24 cans of beer. There will only be about 8 people at the party. A 2-4 should be enough. We don't want people to drink too much and drive. Changing of the guard. A change in leadership at an organization. There's been a changing of the guard at Volkswagen since the company was hurt by a scandal over measurement of emissions. A little from column A, a little from column B. A course of action drawing on several different ideas or possibilities. You don't need to choose a single management philosophy. Some of the best managers take a little from column A, a little from column B. Double-double. A cup of coffee with 2 containers of cream and 2 packets of sugar. Every morning I stop at Tim's and pick up a double-double and 2 donuts. Hail Mary, an or adjective. A desperate, last-ditch attempt. The ruling party is going to make one more Hail Mary attempt to pass a tax increase, even though it's failed twice. This expression comes from American football and is North American. It is now used in contexts outside sports. Ticking time bomb. A developing problem that threatens disaster if nothing is done. Inflation is a ticking time bomb for the Venezuelan economy. If it's not stopped, the currency could become worthless. An uphill climb. A difficult process. Winning back our trust after stealing is going to be an uphill climb, but we think you can do it if you're careful to act with honesty. Catch-22. A difficult situation from which there is no escape because options for avoiding it involve contradictions. It's a catch-22. We can't get the fare discount without the loyalty card, but to get the loyalty card we'd have to take this flight. This idiom comes from a novel, Catch-22, by Joseph Heller, and describes a situation in which a soldier is considered insane and unfit for combat if he willingly continues to fly missions. However, asking to be relieved from duty on the basis of insanity shows that he is mentally competent. Consequently, he must continue to serve. A tall order. A difficult task. I can try, but completing the whole ad campaign by the end of the month is a tall order. Poker face. A facial expression that reveals nothing. Brian is a good negotiator because he has an excellent poker face. You absolutely cannot tell what he's thinking. From the game of poker, where showing any kind of reaction is disadvantageous. Dirty look. A facial manner that signifies disapproval. My husband gave me a dirty look when I brought up a political controversy. Apple of one's eye. A favorite person or thing, a person especially valued by someone. Edward has only one child, and she's the apple of his eye. Cabin fever. A feeling of restlessness caused by being unable to leave home in cold weather. It's been below -10°C for 3 weeks now. I'm getting cabin fever. Spring fever. A feeling of unusual excitement or heightened sexuality in spring. It's so nice outside I couldn't make myself go to class. Guess I just had spring fever. Catfight. A fight between two women. It was a wild night at the bar last night. A lot of people got drunk, and they were thrown out when they started arguing and a catfight broke out. Gas bar. A filling station, a gasoline, petrol, station. I always go to a gas bar at the edge of town, it's a few cents cheaper per liter. Tear-jerker. A film or book that makes you cry. The film Love Story, with its story of young love cut short by death, was one of the most successful tear-jerkers of all time. The straw that broke the camel's back. A final difficulty that exhausts someone's patience or causes the collapse of something. When Carlene asked for a vacation after doing no work for 3 weeks, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I fired her. You can also say the last straw. Bachelor apartment. A flat with no bedroom, a studio apartment. All I need is a bachelor apartment. I have very little furniture, and I'm not home much. In the US, studio is the preferred term, but you may hear bachelor pad. Ass. A foolish person. If you believe that, despite all the evidence, then you, sir, are an ass. Fair weather friend. A friend who disappears when you have problems. Susan's a fair weather friend. Now she always wants to go out, but last year, when I was in the hospital, she didn't visit or even call. Think tank. A group of experts engaged in ongoing studies of a particular subject, a policy study group. The president followed the advice of a think tank at Georgetown University, with disastrous results. Hangdog look. A guilty or embarrassed appearance. My son claimed he didn't take the bike, but he had such a hangdog look I knew he had done it. Bloke. A guy, a man. So I was buying beer, and this bloke starts making fun of my Man United shirt. Knocked him down, didn't I? Home away from home. A habitual hangout, a place one frequents often and where one feels welcome. That corner bar is my home away from home. I spend an hour there after work almost every day. White lie. A harmless falsehood. I often have to tell my boss little white lies to cover for my coworkers. Little white lie is often used. Cost, a pretty penny. A high cost. Hybrid cars are good for the environment, but if you buy one, it'll cost you a pretty penny. Toque. A knit cap. You'll need a toque and a heavy coat if you want to visit Manitoba in January. Tons of. A large amount of. We've lost tons of business since the poisoning scare. We need to make changes. Nice chunk of change. A large amount of money. The boss gave me a $200 bonus for finding an error in the production system. That's a nice chunk of change. This is quite informal. Kerfuffle. A loud argument, a fuss. Since the kerfuffle over who would get credit for the research, our team has worked together really well. This is also used outside Canada. Mash note. A love letter. Sure, you can text someone to show you're interested, but an old-fashioned mash note will really get the person's attention. Snafu. A malfunction, a chaotic situation. After all the snafus, I'm surprised the product launch is happening even close to the scheduled date. May-December marriage. A marriage between a younger and an older partner, typically a young woman and an old man. Their May-December marriage sparked gossip that she was only after his money. Grease monkey. A mechanic, especially an auto mechanic. You need new brakes. Your neighborhood grease monkey should be able to do the job. It's not difficult. This is very informal. Brain fart. A mental lapse, an inexplicable mistake. Sorry, I had a brain fart. I meant to say last year's sales figure was 600,000, not 200,000. Slap on the wrist. A minor punishment, especially one for a serious crime. The mayor's son was arrested for dealing drugs, but he got just a slap on the wrist. Business as usual. A normal situation, whether related to business or not, typically restored after some change. I was on a diet at the beginning of the year, but now it's back to business as usual. New wrinkle. A novel aspect to a situation, a new development. Ford's research into self-driving cars adds a new wrinkle to the automotive engineering scene. Flash in the pan. A one-time occurrence, not a permanent phenomenon. Some believed that Donald Trump's popularity was a flash in the pan, others thought he would have a more lasting impact. This idiom comes from an old expression about exploding gunpowder. Gap year. A one-year break between high school and university, or between university and graduate school. I think I'd like to go to Thailand and teach English for my gap year. Parkade. A parking structure, parking ramp. You may feel a parkade is an unsafe place to park late at night, but actually they're safer than parking lots. Man cave. A part of the house, often the basement, that is left to the man of the household, perhaps with a workshop, a television for watching sports, etc. Let's make sure we buy a house with a finished basement. I need a man cave where I can relax. This idiom is North American. Crunch time. A period of high pressure when one has to work hard to finish something. It's crunch time. I have 3 exams next week, so I can't go out with you. I have to study. Cat's paw. A person being used by someone else, a tool. The Prime Minister has no real power. He's really just a cat's paw of business interests. The worm has turned. A person or group that has been mistreated becomes angry and seeks revenge. After years of putting up with management abuse, the workers are striking at a crucial time. The worm has turned. Early bird. A person who gets up very early in the morning, a person who arrives early to an event. Many McDonald's restaurants open at 5 a.m. or even earlier. They're popular among early birds. Clothes horse. A person who is obsessed with fashionable clothes. Shauna is such a clothes horse. I could fill my entire closet with clothes she's only worn once. Night owl. A person who likes to stay up late at night. For night owls, the BBC broadcasts to North America all night on most national public radio stations. Glutton for punishment. A person who repeatedly pursues a course of action that leads to difficulties or emotional pain. So, he went back to Courtney even though she cheated on him 3 times. I guess he's just a glutton for punishment. Carrot top. A person with red hair, a head of red hair. You never know what you're going to get with Lady Gaga, often blonde hair, but sometimes a carrot top. Mugshot. A photograph taken of an accused criminal. My new driver's license photo is terrible. It looks like a mugshot. Also spelled solid, mugshot. Point of no return. A place from which it is impossible to go back to the starting point. We've reached the point of no return on this hike. If we keep walking, we won't be able to make it back to town before dark. Watering hole. A place where alcoholic beverages are served, a bar. Watering holes in New York City range from simple taverns serving a shot and a beer to spectacular skyscraper bars with 360-degree views and elaborate craft cocktails. It's a wash. A positive and a negative development cancel each other out, so the situation has neither improved nor gotten worse. We added 2 new employees, but our workload increased. so it's a wash. This expression is North American. 1-2 punch. A powerful sequence of two events. The area has been devastated by the 1-2 punch of a cyclone followed by a gas leak. Heavy hitter. A powerful, influential person. Swedish producer Max Martin has been one of the heavy hitters in the music industry for more than 20 years. Dry run. A practice execution of a procedure. The flight went perfectly in a dry run. I think we're ready to start accepting charters. Private eye. A private detective. The police were unable to solve the case, so the family has retained the services of a private eye. Poison pill. A provision or feature added to a measure or an entity to make it less attractive, an undesirable add-on. The company's offer contained a poison pill increased work hours so that workers would reject the offer when they voted on it. This term originated in the financial world. A poison pill is a provision added to a company's stock to discourage hostile takeovers. Lately it is being used more broadly. Gastown. A region of the city of Vancouver, with many arts venues and tourist attractions. If you're in Vancouver, check out Gastown, there's always something going on there. Neck of the woods. A region, especially one's home region. I'll come and see you the next time I'm in your neck of the woods. Dry run. A rehearsal, a test run. We're opening the restaurant tonight for our friends. It'll be a dry run for the grand opening next week. Boondocks, boonies. A remote area, an area far from the city. Amanda is so sophisticated. You'd never guess she grew up in the boonies. This is from the Tagalog word boondock. Second wind. A renewed burst of energy after being tired. I didn't think I could finish the project this afternoon, but I got a second wind and started working very quickly. So it's done. Side hustle. A second job, typically freelance. I'm an accountant, but I have a side hustle designing and marketing cards. The jig is up. A secret illicit activity has been exposed, your trickery is finished. The jig is up for the stock scammers. The FBI busted the ring last night. Slippery slope. A series of undesirable effects that, one warns, could result from a certain action. Marijuana may not seem to be a strong drug, but some argue that it can put you on the slippery slope to addiction. Wicket. A service counter in a business or office. I couldn't believe the queue at the post office. It took me an hour to reach the wicket. In the US the term would be window. Bag of tricks. A set of methods or resources. We're stuck. Go ask Ron. I'm sure he has something in his bag of tricks that will solve the problem. Chop shop. A shop where stolen cars are disassembled for parts. My car was stolen earlier this week, but I didn't notice it was missing until today. I'm sure it's in a chop shop by now. A stone's throw. A short distance. Of course I know where the Paisano restaurant is. It's just a stone's throw from my sister's house. 40 winks. A short nap. If you're on a long drive, it's helpful to stop and take 40 winks every few hours if you can. Full ride. A situation in which all one's expenses, especially educational expenses, are paid for. I should attend the University of Illinois. They're offering me a full ride, but other schools will cover only part of my costs. Vicious circle. A situation in which an attempt to solve a problem makes the original problem worse. I've been borrowing money to pay my bills, but that just makes my credit rating worse, and my monthly payments increase. It's a vicious circle. Open and shut case. A situation, especially a legal proceeding, with a clear, certain outcome. The criminal tried to argue that his accomplice was responsible, but he was convicted anyway. It was an open and shut case. Puddle jumper. A small airplane, used on short trips. There's a puddle jumper that flies from San Francisco to San Jose. It's expensive, but driving takes forever.